Hey, boys and girls, I'm trying to get my lighting just right so that you can see me. That should be okay. All right, today in reading, and it's really not reading, it's more ELA, which means English Language Arts. So some of the things we do when writing English, but it's helpful when we're reading it as well to know how we read it, is we've been working on things with commas, and so we're going to continue that today. But today, instead of listing words in a series like you have been doing, where you list maybe your 3 favorite foods or your 4 animal names or your 5 family members and you use a comma, today we are going to be using commas when writing dates. So this is very important in your writing, but it's also very important when you're reading something. So let's look at it. I'm going to write today's date. And today is May 13th, 2020. Now this is the correct way to write a date. There are actually a few more ways to write it, but this is the way we're going to look at it today. May 13th, 2020. So if you'll notice right here, between my 13 and the 2020 is a comma. And the reason that we have that is so that we are able to show that those are 2 separate numbers. So, see if I can make this any bigger for you guys because that was kind of small. If we did not have that, this is what our date would look like. May 13, 2020. Okay? So it looks a little confusing. Sometimes we may not even put a space here. And that would look very confusing. That doesn't tell us much about what day it is. Whenever we are writing a date, we always put a comma after the date. So I'm going to write a sentence that has the date in it as well. So I'm going to write the sentence, tomorrow will be Thursday, May 14th, 2020, period. So if you'll look right, make this a little bigger too. Right here, you can see my date of May 14th, 2020. And I have a comma right there between my 14 and my year of 2020. Now, I always am going to put a space there because we don't want it to look like it did before when all those numbers were jammed together. So it's going to be the month, the date, a comma, and then the year. Now, you may have noticed that I also placed a comma right here after the word Thursday. So if you're going to write a date, let me give you another example. Let's see. How about the sentence, my birthday is on I think my birthday's on a Monday. Monday, July 1st, 2020. So you can see here after the word Monday, I put a comma because that is the day of the week. We want to separate the day of the week, the month, and the day of the month with the year. So Monday, comma, July 1st, comma, 2020. So whenever you're doing a date, that is what it's going to look like. You're going to put a comma right over here between the number, the date of the month, and the year. Now, that doesn't mean just in 2020. That means any year. So we could do this sentence. Let's talk. We're going to do when I was originally born the first time. You're only born once. But I was born on July 1st, 1987. Okay? So even though my year is different, I was born in 1987, and it's still 2020, I'm still going to have this comma after the 1, a space, and then the year. So while we're talking about commas in numbers, I want to bring up something that we talked about a little. We didn't really spend a lot of time on it. It was one of those things that I just kind of told you. But while we're talking about commas with numbers and dates, I also want to remind you guys that whenever you type a number and it goes out to the thousands place. Now remember, here's my number 4. That is a single digit, 1 digits. It's in the ones place. If I add an 8, now I go to the tens place. If I add a 2, it's at the hundreds place. If I add a 7, it goes to the thousands place. So whenever you're writing a number, after you got to go backwards. So you're going to go backwards. Let's see if I can draw it. You're going to go backwards 1, 2, 3 times. And right there after the third bunny hop, you are going to write a comma. Okay? So this number should actually be written 4,827, which we would read 4,827. Now, what if I add another number? What if I add a 9? Well, we would jump back 3. So 1, 2, 3. So now our comma wouldn't go here. It would go here. So we'd have 48,279. So we always count backwards 3 times. And wherever you land on the third time is where you put the comma. So let's add another number. Let's add the number 1. So we need to think, is our comma in the right place? It is not, because we need to go backwards. Let's see if I can draw it again. We need to go back 1, 2, 3. So we need a comma right here. Let's make this comma blue. We need a comma right there between the 2 and the 7. But we can we count it back 3 more times? 1, 2. We can only go back 2 more times. So we cannot add another comma. However, it can keep going. If we have the number 4827913, let's see where we would put our comma here. And let's see if we need more than 1 comma. So we'd go back 1, 2, 3 spots. So we'd have a comma right here between the 7 and 9, just like we did the first time. But then we can go 3 more spots. So that would, I'm trying to make sure I have this right. Oh, no, I need this blue color. Now we can count 3 more spots. So you start where you left off with your comma. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. And it would go right here. Now the way that we would read this number, let's see, I want this to not be there. I've got the numbers 4827913. So remember, I go back 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. So here's my ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and then it goes 10,000s, 100,000s, millions. So this number is 4,827,913. And when you're reading this with commas, that is much easier to tell your place value than if all those numbers were there without the commas. So that's just a little information for you to just know. It's not important in the first grade, but it will be as you get older, especially into second grade next year. Because I think that you guys will learn about going to the 10,000s place in place value. Let's see where that is. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. So it would be right there. Doing that form place value. That's why it's so important that you understand place value now in first grade, because it only gets a little bit more difficult. Okay, so your assignment today is super simple. It is attached to the instructions in Seesaw, so you don't have a separate link you've got to look at, but you've just got some dates and you just go in and add the commas. So super easy. If you have any questions, you can ask a parent or you can ask me, and I'll be glad to help you. So I will see you guys soon.